Clerk can go ahead and call the court into session.
The Court of Appeals for the 8th District of Texas is now in session.
Good afternoon. We are here on two cases. I'm calling cause number 08-19-00223 criminal, Geronimo Francisco Rivera versus the state of Texas, and cause number 19-227 CR, Timothy Fonseca versus the state of Texas. We are here today on a contempt hearing against Ms. Becky Macias. Could I have the counsel for those cases please announce? Mr. Spencer, if you want to start.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Joe Spencer, representing Timothy Fonseca.
Okay. Mr. Lerma.
Yes, Your Honor. Eduardo Ed Lerma on behalf of Geronimo Francisco Rivera. And we're ready.
And Mr. Darnold.
Yes, Your Honor. Tom Darnold for the state of Texas on both cases, and the state is ready.
Okay. So everyone is announced ready, and we have given notice of the hearing of the show cause that has been served on Ms. Macias. Ms. Macias, you are not, I see, represented by counsel. I want to admonish you that you have the right to be represented by an attorney. You may give up that right to a lawyer and represent yourself. If you choose to represent yourself, you can change your mind at any time and either hire a lawyer of your choice or accept one that I would appoint. Do you want to give up your right to an attorney and represent yourself in this proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor, that's fine.
Okay. I also want to inform you, Ms. Macias, that we are here on a civil and criminal contempt proceeding.
Okay.
And that we will consider both and consider the punishment for both. The burden of proof for a criminal contempt proceeding is beyond a reasonable doubt. The burden for a civil contempt proceeding is beyond preponderance of the evidence. If we find you in criminal contempt of this court, we could assess a punishment of confinement in jail and a fine. We would not confine you for more than 180 days or a fine that would exceed $500. So I did want to admonish you of that. So with that, I would state that the 8th Court of Appeals takes judicial notice of the entire case file in cause number 08-19-223 CR, Geronimo Francisco Rivera versus state of Texas, and 08-19-227 Timothy Fonseca versus the state of Texas. And we would also take notice of the unsworn declaration of Elizabeth Flores, clerk of the court, that was shared with Ms. Macias earlier today, and that I would move to admit as exhibit number 1 to this proceeding. Specifically, the court would note that a show cause order was issued in this case on October 9th, 2020, ordering Ms. Macias to show cause why she should not be held in contempt for violating this court's orders issued on March 25th, 2020 in cause number 08-19-223 CR and March 25th, 2020 in cause number 08-19-227 CR. We showed that the show cause order was served on Ms. Macias on October 12th, 2020, and the process server's return is in the file. And we would also note that the court would notice the failure to file a complete reporter's record in both of those cases. And additionally, the court would raise that there are 2 additional transcripts in cause number 08-2094-civil, styled the Navarez Law Firm versus Investors Land Services, and cause number 08-19-283 Chauncey Deandra Reed versus the state of Texas. Ms. Macias, do you have any response to these matters that you want to share with the court? Okay,
yes, I
please
do.
Proceed.
Okay. The first one you just mentioned, Mr. Navarez, Miss Deborah Lee notified me by text message, and she had let me know that it's on appeal, and she told me when it was due. I told her fine because I've already completed it before. I told her, let me put it in proper order and I will give it to you to mail. I'm not sure what the deadline date is or was, but I have it. I need to put it in proper format for the appeal. Otherwise, it's already completed. And I even notified her today that I would send it to her so she could send everything in. And that's almost the same thing that happened with the Union Pacific case, where I was notified in September. And all of a sudden I was told, okay, send it to me. You will get, I will file it all together. And then all of a sudden I come to find out today with another text from a different court reporter that she barely filed it November 3rd. So as far as Mr. Nevarez, I'm in contact with Ms. Deborah Lee, and that one I will be sending her sometime today or tomorrow. The next one on Mr. DeAndre or Mr. Chauncey Reed. As far as him, I was told that the deadline is the 12th, and on that one I am working on currently, and I will have it more than likely on the 12th, but I will have it for the court reporter to be submitted. Unless she hasn't been paid or what have you, I don't know what the purpose would be for keeping it other than my portion that she's waiting for. I will hopefully, and more than likely, 99% have it ready for the 12th because that's the deadline. I understand that it's due. As far as Mr. Fonseca, on him, and I cannot remember the dates on him because it has been a while. When I was told about him, I said, okay, great. What volume am I going to be? They're like, oh, we already submitted with the transcript to the appeals court. So you need to add yourself like a supplement. And somehow I do remember Mr. Spencer asked me for it. And of course I was caught up between Mr. Spencer's and Mr. Rivera's, which I have more than 3/4 done. I need 2 more volumes on it, which shouldn't take me too much longer. And so on top of all of that, I did have a lot, and I'm not making excuses. I know I did not file the record, but I totally burned out. I let my supervisor, Naomi Pada, know that I was getting tired, that I was burnt out. But I kept going, and we kept getting assignments to go to court. And what I had sent in my extension requests was regarding how shorthanded we are. I know we are nationwide as well as our own courthouse. And another issue was the 171st that cannot keep a court reporter. That court is a busy court, and no, I don't mind working hard, but I was totally burned out, and I'm working through that right now between depression and the COVID and everything. And I know I'm about to be in trouble here. Trust me, stress and everything, it's all accumulated. It's gotten overwhelming. The one person that could help me has already passed away as far as being able to give my work to. And I know appeals have precedence over anything else. As I was getting transcripts, I was trying to get them out if they were short, small ones. But as I got them in, or as I got them out, more were coming in. And even after all of this right now, I'm still getting requests. And so, between being burnt out, and I did let them know, but the thing is, can you go to court? Can you go to court? The 383rd, which is another place we were going to constantly, was continually running a double docket. And I kid you not, sometimes a triple docket. And so we were constantly being sent out. I did work at home. I have been. Of course, I could probably work faster, but I'm doing the best I can right now. And as far as I know how much trouble I can be in and probably will be in, I'm doing the best I can. I do plan on finishing these. And like I say, I know I should have Mr. Rivera's done first because I believe his is the oldest. But I'm trying to also help so that Miss Simmons from the 168th can have her portion on Chauncey Reed. What I have from them is the voir dire. But how can I say, my plan was to have all these three done by today, but I cleared one that finally got resolved on November 3rd. And right now, I'm just working on Chauncey Reed, trying to get him done. And I know I have Mr. Fonseca and Mr. Rivera. Like I say, Mr. Rivera's, I have at least 3/4 done. I need 2 more volumes on him to be completed, but I am hoping and praying for the opportunity to at least finish it. Mr. Rivera's by the 23rd, if not sooner. Of course, now I'm going to have to work, so to speak, night and day just to get it done. So you all will know at least that I am trying and that I do intend to finish this.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm trying to think of what else. On top of, like I say, being burnt out and depression. And I did let my boss know, you know, that I was getting tired and it didn't matter. And not that I'm complaining about the 171st, because I didn't mind. It was my job and I did it. But at one point when Ms. Boren was there, we were both exchanging that court back and forth every other week, because when reporters leave their court, we try not to send them back. And, you know, just to give them a break. And then eventually we implement them back in. And in this situation, it was just Tina and myself for quite a long time. And whenever she had trials, we'd each get a trial. And sometimes it seemed like I got 2 or 3 trials back to back. And unfortunately, they all appealed at the same time. And what I mean, unfortunately, is in essence, it was 2, 3 trials that appealed at the same time. And where do you go from there? When I did say I was working diligently in my requests for extensions, I was, and at the same time, I was going to court as well. Again, I don't mind working hard, but with everything going on, it was just overwhelming. And now, you know, of course, I know the trouble that I can be in and that I probably will be in. I'm just trying to get through this so I can get, you know, this resolved as soon as possible. That way, you know, these gentlemen can go ahead and have their due process, so to speak, even though I've delayed it somewhat.
Judge, with permission, may I ask a couple of questions?
Yes, Justice Rodriguez.
Ms. Macias, are you on medical leave, or are you formally retired from the county?
No, I'm formally retired from the county, but through the primary doctor I do have depression.
No, and firstly, I want to tell you, I'm sorry that we unfortunately we have to, obviously we need to get these records. It's very, you recognize how important that is, but at the same time, I recognize that you're working under a health situation or through a health situation, and I also recognize, as we all do, mental health is just as important as physical health, and your mental health is just as important as everybody's due process rights. So we have to kind of try to balance both of them. And correct. So I'm sorry you find yourself in that situation, and then you have to do it in 2020, as they say.
Correct.
It's horrible year. It's horrible year. And so really what I think we're trying to do as a court is to have a dialogue so that we can, along with the attorneys, get a resolution so that everybody gets whatever it is they need in the space that they need it. Right?
Correct. Yes.
So I really appreciate your forthcoming and letting us know where you are in terms of your health. Not everybody has the courage to do that.
Thank you.
And that takes a lot, and I recognize that. So my question, I think I understood you. So I'm just I'm making some notes here so that I can understand where we're at. So on the Nevada's case, you have completed that. You're just trying to put it in the proper format.
Correct.
I guess in order to electronically file it. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Right.
And what
Okay.
I'm going to do is when I put it in proper format, I will be emailing it to Ms. Deborah Lee, and that way she can send everything together. And she, like I say, we text barely this morning, or the second time around this morning, and she said that would be great.
Okay. And just so that I can kind of understand the process, when you send it to her, you send it by mail. Is that right?
Email, Judge.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So your intention is to send it either today or tomorrow.
Correct.
So that one's done. And then you mentioned in passing Union Pacific. I'm not familiar with that one. Who did you take a hearing on that one?
Yes, it was a small hearing, but it wasn't completed. The judge had stopped it, but there was about 26 pages. And the court reporter, she was going to file it, or she told me when she was going to file it, but the thing turns out was she hadn't been paid. So then again, this morning I got a text from her stating, okay, I did get paid and I filed it on November the 3rd.
Okay. And so who was the court reporter on that one that you're speaking of?
Wait, I hope I'm not confusing it. This one is from County Court 6, correct? Or which one was it? I'm sorry.
You
Which
said
one?
Union Pacific, and I'm
Oh,
not
I'm sorry.
with that one. I'm not
Okay,
familiar with-
I'm sorry, I'm confusing it. Union Pacific, okay, Union Pacific is out of County Court 6.
So that would be Deanne.
That would be Deanne Daislison.
Right.
And she told me as soon as you get it done, and same thing with her, I got it done, I emailed it to her, and then she told me, okay, I'll file it as soon as you send it. So I sent it to her, but then I come to find out she was waiting to be paid. So she let me know that she did get paid and that she filed the entire record on November 3rd.
Okay.
And that
so
one's Union Pacific.
That one's done.
Correct.
That one's done. Okay.
Correct.
So then we're looking at Chauncey Reed,
Which is due the 12th. Correct.
which is November 12th. Is that right? Or
Correct. Yes.
December?
Yes, Your Honor. No,
November
I was told November
12th,
12th.
which is
A few days.
Thursday.
Correct.
And then we have Fonseca and Rivera.
Correct.
So on November 12th on Chauncey Reed, that's for the court reporter is, you said Rachel Simmons?
Rachel Simmons, yes.
Okay, and you're trying to do that one so that so she can submit that
File
on
it.
November 12th.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. And so how much more do you, and you said you're working on that one right now. How much more do you have on that one?
Because my thing does not fully edit everything. I'm just going to guesstimate about 100 pages,
Okay.
give or take.
Just to get an idea. And
Right.
do you know, and I guess we could check, okay. And then Fonseca, how much do you need?
On him, he's about 90 pages. He's the
Okay.
one that I've done the least on. So
Okay.
his is about 90 pages.
Okay. And on Rivera, you said it was 3/4 done, but you need 2 more volumes. Is that
Correct.
right?
Yes,
do.
I left the voir dire for last because it's a back and forth. Whereas question and answer and all the other hearings and what have you, they're all easier to get done. They just roll smoothly. So I usually leave the voir dire for last, and then I have the sentencing on it. So those are the 2 volumes.
Okay. And so just to give us an idea, I know that you're, and I don't want to tie you down into over promising something that you can't deliver on.
Right.
So on Reed, you really think you're able to deliver that to Miss Simmons on November 12th, and then she's got to in turn give it to us, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I may be working on it on that day, doing touch-ups. I have no idea, but I am going to do everything I can to have it for her on the 12th.
Okay. And so, and then on Fonseca, where you have 90 pages,
I would like to try for that one on the 16th, and if I can have any of these done sooner, I will.
no, I know.
But
November 16th,
I'll try for
which is-
November 16th.
which is Monday. And
Correct.
then I know Rivera has got 2 more volumes. That's going to take a little bit longer.
Right.
A ballpark idea, if you will.
I'd like to say either the 23rd or the 30th. I know the holidays are in there, but I will be working anyways.
All right, just to give us an idea. And then you mentioned that you've gotten more requests. Do you have an idea of how many more requests you have for different kinds of transcripts, if they're for hearings or full trials?
No, they're for hearings. They're for hearings. I have at least 3 that I can recall, not by name or cause number off the top of my head,
Okay.
but at least 3. On another one, I told them I cannot get to it as quick as you want because I have these matters right now. And they were like, okay, fine. And I'm sure if they would have needed it or really wanted it again, they would have, let me know again that I really need it now.
Okay. And I guess the only other thing, I'm not trying to, I don't know if the other judges have any other questions. You're getting treated, you're under the care of a primary care physician and you're getting treated for your diagnosis, right?
Correct. And it's, again, he's just my primary. I mean, he hasn't sent me off to see anyone else, but he's seen me when I've been through the depression and what have you. So, but I am being treated under a primary care doctor.
Okay. Because I'm sure the other attorneys and judges all are in agreement that obviously you've got to address those issues before you can even get you've got to be sure you're getting treated and
Yes.
then be able to work on this in such a way that but at any rate, all
Yes,
right. So your goal is to have everything done in different stages, but no later than
The end
November
of the month.
30th.
Correct.
All right. I just wanted to understand that.
Oh, and
Thank
one other thing, Judge, with the TAMS, I have to try it again, but I know when it had crashed or what have you, and then you all eventually got it up and running again. When I tried to get in, it wouldn't let me log in. So I emailed, I'm assuming it was someone up in Austin, and they told me, no, just make sure you're in Chrome, Google when you try to send it. So that was another issue I had. I haven't tried it since, but I will. So the way I've been getting the transcripts through is when I have a portion of someone else's, I send it to them so they can send it as a whole. So I won't be any more of a holdup.
No, and I think, and we can check with our clerk. You might be able to call us directly, and we might be able to. I would hope that we could resolve the issue with you directly.
Okay.
So if you work with our clerk, they're nice ladies. I promise they don't bite.
Okay.
And so whatever difficulties you're working through, as long as we have that communication, I think that's what's the most important thing. But I understand and I recognize that all of us get overwhelmed from time to time.
Correct.
And then it becomes a hopeless problem. You don't know what to do about it.
Correct.
So maybe hopefully this will get us a path clear so that it might maybe alleviate some of your anxiety.
Correct.
And then get you past all of this.
Correct, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I have a couple questions. Are
Yes,
you working anywhere right now?
I'm in my home working. Yes.
Are you doing outside court reporting?
No, definitely that. No, I retired from it, and because I was so burnt out, I don't mind doing the transcripts, but because I'm so burnt out, no, I don't intend on, at least for now, for a long time, to get back into working outside. But no, elsewhere, no.
And your license as a court reporter is still active?
Yes, it's still active till April of 2022.
Okay. And then on some of these Do you have audio recordings of each of these proceedings? So for instance, Fonseca is apparently just a hearing on a motion to recuse. Do you have an audio tape of that?
Yes, I do. Some of them come out clear because I would use a basic court reporter, a basic court recorder. Some came out clear and some didn't. I would have to see on that as far as if it's clear or not. But yes, Your Honor, I would record the hearings as they went.
And then what program do you use for taking the testimony itself? That's transcribed. Go ahead.
I use Eclipse. I believe it's 4.0. It's an older version.
All right. And so you have the Eclipse file and you have the audio file for each of these proceedings?
As far as audio file, Your Honor, it's a regular tape recorder. It's not in sync because I also have an old laptop as well. Okay. And you have got those preserved. If the court, for instance, ordered you to turn those over to another court reporter to finish, they are in a format that you could do so. I believe I could. I don't know if they would be able to understand, even though we all do the same job, we write differently. And if the tapes are not quite clear, I don't know if they would have any issue. But yes, I do have tapes, and I do have, I'd have to figure out how to give it to them to be able, for them to be able to place it on their software or what have you, and translate or transcribe it from there. But I mean, we'd probably be able to figure a way. But I do have the items.
Okay. Justice Palafox, do you have any questions?
I guess, Ms. Macias, I'm wondering, you've given us some commitments today on dates. Do you feel like you've given yourself enough time and space, and these are actual true commitments to delivering the work that you described?
As far as Mr. Fonseca and Mr. Rivera, yes. The one on the 12th, it's going to be tight, but I'm going to do everything I can to get it done.
I guess I have concerns because in a way I want you to be as comfortable about telling us the firm date that you can deliver, because for a period of time, as you see with our record, we've gotten into a pattern of dates that it's promised, but yet not, these deadlines aren't being met. So I'm concerned because I'm hearing a little bit from you right now. That's only 2 days from now. And we've all convened here with a lot of seriousness about these dates. So,
correct.
So the 12th, you're hedging on a bit. And that's actually the first date that everything would fall apart from that time forward if you can't meet that date.
Right.
But do you want to modify that at all? Or is that the date you're going to give us that work?
Hang on just a minute. Okay, for you all, okay, I understand that you're saying I'm hedging on it. To feel comfortable, or I don't know if it would give you any comfort, since I understand what you're saying. I would say the 13th, but that still wouldn't change the other two. And no, I understand. I understand all the requests I had made and didn't deliver. But at the same time, all these other things were happening as far as shortages of court reporters, The freelancers from outside don't want to come in because the county will not pay them what they're charging. So between the three of us, well, actually two, we were stretched, completely stretched, but I understand where you're coming from and what you're saying.
Yeah, I think the concern is just that, don't, like I said, I don't want you to feel pressured into overpromising something, and be realistic so that whatever dates that you set out are realistic for you.
Right.
So I just, with you thinking in your head, well, yeah, if I don't sleep between now and Thursday, I can get it done, and that's not realistic, and that's not feasible. So
right.
we just want to be sure that you're doing something where you're working, but it's not unrealistic, I think is what Judge Palafox is
trying to say. Okay. Fine, then I'll change it to the 13th for Miss Simmons or Chauncey Reed, and for Fonseca I would just move it one day down to the 17th, and I would still leave Rivera at the 30th.
Okay.
And I can let Miss Simmons know, that is if you all agree to it, to let her know that it's been pushed over one day to Friday.
Can I ask you also, though, as far as your setup where you are working at home and the equipment that you have, is there anything about your setup that makes it less efficient than you would be otherwise if you were working at the courthouse?
No, it doesn't. I still have the same old laptop, and when I say it that way, it's the one I'm working on off of right now is a borrowed one, because mine doesn't have a camera or a microphone. So that's why I say old. As far as software, software gets updated like everything else. But mine, I had left it at 4.0. That's what I always worked with, and that's what I kept. No, I mean, as far as I understand, people say there's more distractions at home there are at the courthouse. No, I mean, I'm fine. I can work here at home with what I have. It's everything that I used at work, so it's the same setup.
And then I guess one last question, though, and it's just we're just pondering. What if we were to say that you needed to come to the courthouse and do your work here at the courthouse during certain time period? Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
If it gives you all comfort, I can do that. Just tell me when and where, and I can do that if it gives you comfort. And I have no problems. And I'm not trying to make excuses to stay home. So you understand, I also have a lot of underlying issues with the COVID being out there, but that's fine. I've got masks. You tell me where to go and I'll take my stuff and I'll work.
Well, I guess now's the time for you to let us know what those issues are, though. So we're trying to have as fair and accurate of a picture of what's happening.
Okay, underlying health issues as far as the COVID's related, or how, or what?
Well, just if we were to say we need you to come work at the courthouse so that these deadlines can be met.
Okay.
I just wanted to know, is that a better productive environment, or are there reasons why, whether it's your equipment or you have to transport things, or that might actually cause you to slow down in the process?
It would just be time packing to go over there, time packing to come back over here and set up again and continue. That would be the only thing. But if you need me and order me to go there, I will go there.
And what about the COVID health concerns?
Well, I'll tell you what they are, but I shouldn't have brought it up. And the only reason I say that is because I've been working through them my whole life for the 23 years that I worked there. I have diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I sleep with a CPAP with oxygen at night. I have asthma.
Well, let me just cut in here. I mean,
Sure.
we're on a public channel. No offense. I don't feel comfortable kind of sharing all your health issues
Okay.
on a public channel.
Okay.
But you have said that you would be able to come if, for instance, we set you up, in a room by yourself here at the courthouse. You have transportation, and the device you're using, I take it, is a laptop. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. Are there any other questions, Justice Rodriguez or Justice Palafox?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
Well, then what I intend to do this. I'm going to recess this hearing, Ms. Macias, or in the hearing, and the three justices, we're going to get together and discuss this, and we will issue an order following this that will have some directives. And I want to kind of impress upon you how serious we are with our orders.
Yes, sir.
Because I have personally in the past taken a chunk of my time to go through these records, and I issued some of the orders in March, in February, and just personally, I feel like my orders were ignored. I understand what issues you've talked about. I'm sympathetic to those, but I'm also sympathetic to the individuals who are waiting to have their cases resolved. And if whatever order we set is going to have some communication responsibilities, that is, that you're going to have to be in touch with the court, either up here directly or wherever you're going to be working. And I think we all intend, and we are going to insist that you stay in communication with us and let us know how each of these proceedings are progressing. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so the email address that we have been using is good for you. That is, you've received our emails.
Yes, sir. In Salem, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, you can expect then to receive an order attached to an email in the very near future.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else before I adjourn this proceeding?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, and we'll bring both of these matters to a close.